Hey, Bill Applegate here. Today I'm going to do a little lesson on Bluegrass Solo number 1. I'm going to do this in kind of 4 steps. First, I'm going to play the solo for you. Second, I'm going to go through the rhythm part. Thirdly, I'm going to do a little short, really short theory lesson. And I don't like to get bogged down in theory, but I'm just talk about the theory, how I see it just a little bit. And then I'm going to go through the solo slowly, 4 measures at a time. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay, let's take a quick look at the rhythm part. We're in the key of G, so G is the 1 chord, C is the 4 chord, and D or D7 is the 5 chord. So when I'm playing my 1 chord in this tune, I'm using this kind of voicing here, where you put the 5th here instead of the 3rd. This seems to help cut through when you're playing with a banjo or a mandolin, because they'll kind of cover you up if you're not careful. You can add the B here if you want, but this just kind of gives you an open 5th sound. And when I go to the C chord, I keep this D note here and the G up here, so I get kind of a C with an add 9. So it's just do a little hammer on here on the 3rd of the chord. Now going back to G, I do a little walk up from the 2 notes below the roots, 2 scale tones below the root, I guess. And I do 2 walk up notes here for the D chord. Notice his 3rd finger doesn't even leave that D note that whole time. So walk up. Let's see here. Let's see. I was doing. So what I did was I put the 7th in. So it's kind of like it's a G7 there. Walks up to the C again. This time I don't have that D note there though. Walk up to the G again. D. Okay, just a little short look at the theory. I kind of look at it as 2 ways. You have your kind of straight playing, which I'm using a lot of the major pentatonic. That gives you your arpeggio plus the 2nd or the 9th, whatever you're going to call it, and the 6th. And then when I want to add a bluesy sound to it, then I will go to you can either use just the minor pentatonic, right? And if you want to slip this flatted 5th in there, you can too. So when I'm going through the solo and I refer to bluesy notes, I'm usually talking about the flatted 3rd and the flatted 7th, and then sometimes the flatted 5th. If you play a Mixolydian scale and add the flatted 3rd to it, you get notes. You get all the notes from the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic. That's something you can think about too. Okay, even when I go to C, I can use some major pentatonic in then some C minor pentatonic, and the same on D. In D, the flatted seventh is a diatonic note, so it's a little different. But okay, so I hope that gives you a general idea of how I came up with this little solo, and let's go through it now. Okay, looking at the first four measures, I start here on a G chord. I start on the B, the third of the chord. Then I play a G in between the first three notes. They're kind of like a pedal tone G, so it's just kind of passing down. So you could consider that B flat, part of the minor, a bluesy note, I guess. Same here, that's kind of a bluesy note. Okay, and then up to the regular third. Another bluesy note, pull off. Then we're walking up to the C chord. It's hard to get that to come out really clear, and I noticed in my take of it could have been a little clearer. So then we have the bluesy note C from the C pentatonic. I'd say that would be a straight note. Kind of the old bluegrass, real standard bluegrass like you hear all the time. I don't really use the cage method a lot, but you can kind of think of this as C, first caged, right? And then an A form of C for A caged, right? And then like a G form of C would be C, A, G. An E form of C would be E, and then a D form of C would be D. So I will refer to the cage just a little bit. So I kind of go up to the A of cage, right? Do a little chromatic note there, which is also a bluesy note, but it leads chromatically nicely to the G chord. Okay, so now we'll look at the next four measures. There's kind of a pedal tone there, right? It's kind of how this, old rock and roll lick. Bluesy note. You'll see a lot of this minor to major third happening. Do a slide there. That could be considered just a passing note. Okay, on the D chord. Now, when you play like a regular 12-bar blues, and you can kind of fit the G minor pentatonic, if it was a blues in G, you could fit the G minor pentatonic through the whole thing. So here I'm kind of using that, because you call it the fifth scale of the G minor pentatonic. Those are straight notes. And that's bluesy. Okay. Going on. I'll play it slow. Okay, back to the G chord. Here I'm jumping up to the third finger here on the fifth fret. Fourth string, okay. And then I play the open. Kind of a pedal tone there on the D, huh? Bluesy note. If you use your first finger here, it makes it easy to slide into this. And we're going right up a C major pentatonic scale. Now here so we're kind of going to this C from the G in caged to the E in caged, okay? Here you're kind of at the A engaged. Okay, so it's a chromatic all the way there. I like when I get to my third finger, just slide it twice. Makes that easy to play. And you kind of have an E flat in there again, so that's kind of your bluesy note. Okay, when I get to G, I'm thinking kind of the C form of a G there. So then I'm just doing the third up to the fifth with chromatic notes. And that's real, you know, major pentatonic there. Okay, now this shift can be tricky, so because you end on one and then you got to jump to one. Okay, on this D chord, I'm starting here on the ninth. There's our bluesy note. It's just really chromatic though. It's ninth up to the third, to the fifth, back to the third, and then on the root there. Okay, and then this last two measures here. I'm pulling the sixth off, so this is straight. There's my bluesy note, huh? Slide down to that A. Pull off here. Okay, let me play the whole thing for you one more time. Okay, there you have it, Bluegrass Solo number 1. I hope this is something that will be useful to you, and you guys have a great day. Thank you.